And if you're on a chair, make sure that you've got your sitting bones pointing downwards, maybe the pubic bone flipping forward a little bit, so that you've got this nice arch in the lower back. And either sitting cross-legged or kneeling on a bolster, or sitting on a chair with your feet planted deeply into the earth. And you're welcome to turn the video off if it's not comfortable for you. And then lowering your gaze or closing the eyes. Taking some deep breaths. Allowing the breath to fill the biggest capacity of the lung space available to you right now, whilst feeling safe and secure, held by the earth. Just allow the rib cage to gently expand out to the sides, front to back, top to bottom, the whole expression of the rib cage, and stretching with the in-breath, welcoming the in-breath. And allow your exhalation to soften the body, soften the hard edges, to allow you to rest comfortably held by gravity. All the bones aligning with gravity on the vertical plane, so that all the big muscles can relax. Just feeling the arms and the shoulders melting away. The base of the body connected with the earth, so it's either from the pelvis if you're sitting cross-legged, or through the pelvis, the thighs, the knees and the feet if you're sitting upright in a chair. Start to connect into the earth. Every time you exhale, just allow yourself to grow those roots out of the base or out of your feet. Start to ground first. So the exhale is taking you down into the core of the earth. And just spend a few breaths regrounding. We have to start grounded. So as the exhale descends, the energy is descending down deep into the core of the earth until you feel really stable, really safe. And if you don't feel stable or safe, that's absolutely fine. But maybe there's a feeling or an awareness that it's okay, however you're feeling. And then we'll begin to work our way up with that in-breath. We'll do that. We draw the energy up from the core of the earth, and it starts as a very earthy, dark color, and it becomes red as it reaches the root chakra. So the root chakra can be the perineum, the base of the spine. It can just be the area of the yoni, opening downwards into the earth. And then as we continue our ascent from the earth, we're going to start to flood the pelvic bowl with orange energy. So as you breathe in, the red then becomes an orange. It comes up through the yoni and it floods out into this pelvic bone. And the pelvis, the whole of the pelvis, all of the bones of the pelvis become flooded with orange. And it's kind of orange liquid, all the watery centers in this lower abdomen, in this pelvic region, full of orange water. You can feel the bladder, the womb, if you have one, or the space where the womb was. The space held by this pelvic bowl, by the bones of the pelvis. There's just now this bowl of orangey water, and it's moving and it's swirling. And it's bright orange, and it comes from that connection deep into the core of the earth, that dark, dark colored, coming up through the roots that you just laid down, through the legs and feet, into the base of the spine, or the perineum. It meets the body and it draws up and out like a funnel. And the whole of this pelvic bowl is now full of orange liquids. And I want you to start thinking that this orange liquid can become instead the imagery of the sea, a vast patch of sea. It doesn't have to stay orange anymore. You're just realizing that you have the whole ocean in your pelvis. And this ocean has got these gentle waves. And you can see the ocean on a dark night. And there's a bright full moon shining in the sky, shining down on this ocean. This night sky. And you can see the light that the full moon is shining on the ocean. Beautiful moonlight. Just glistening on the waves, on the tips of the waves, this kind of gentle moving ocean. You can see ripples, there's a rhythm to what you're seeing of this water in the night sky, and it's becoming vast. It's like all you can see is this ocean and the moonlight shining down. And the sky is so dark, and the ocean a real dark blue. And in the moonlight, you start to see an orange crescent moon shaped boat. And it's this beautiful orange crescent moon. And it's just floating on the water, bobbing. It's balancing, but it's bobbing. It's flowing from side to side. And the moonlight shining directly on this orange boat. And in the chakra imagery, the orange crescent moon has a black dot in the center. But in this imagery, you are sitting in the center of this orange crescent moon shaped boat. And it's you are the black dot. You're sitting right at the center. And every time the crescent moon boat tips to one side, it then has to tip all the way to the other side. And then to compensate for that, it will tip just a little bit less to the first side and then back, and then less and less until there's very minimal movement. Full moonlight still shining down on you at the center of this orange crescent moon shaped boat. And every now and then, quite a big wave comes along. There must be a breeze or a storm coming. Every now and then there's one big wave and it knocks you off center, but only in as much as it knocks you one side and then you come back to the other. And for a few moments, for a little period in time, you're just moving from side to side until bit by bit, with a few breaths, the water calms and you're back in the center with minimal movement. And often a big storm comes, really knocks you, but you always try to sit in the center in this black dot so that it doesn't really matter what's happening. Finally, you realize that the boat was designed for this. This was the perfect plan for this shape of boat. Because you can be knocked anywhere and you'll be sitting right in the center, the black dot, This full moon shining down on you. And the world's trying to tip you from side to side. But you're happy and you're resting in the center. And you can start to see yourself meditating how you are now in this boat, in this crazy wave, in the full moonlight. Every now and then, giant wave playing with you, seeing if it can knock you off balance. And it becomes this fun game. I'm here. I'm fine. I'm in the middle. The moon's shining on me. I'm connected to the earth. Even down under all this water, I can find my connection to the earth. And I can bob along happily and safely in this orange boat. So allow yourself to go wild with this meditation now. If any other imagery comes to do with the lunar cycles, weathering the storms, floating on water, becoming a black dot in an orange crescent moon. Allow all that stuff to come. Just notice it. Don't judge anything. Don't comment too much. Just allow any imagery, thoughts, or feelings to pop up. Notice any sensations in the pelvis. Go back to the pelvis, flooded with orange liquid, spiraling, swirling around. Notice any sensations that are present in the pelvis without judgment or comment. Maybe you feel sensual. Maybe you feel numb. Maybe some imagery is coming. You can just watch it. The pelvis is the space where we have the senses so actively charged, where we shut them down. Often we have trauma there, and it doesn't necessarily need to be sexual trauma, but all trauma is stored here, because this is the space where we numb the feelings, the senses. So just noticing if it's numb, noticing if there are feelings arising. Make sure you're in a safe space. Make sure you're safely grounded. Try to be an observer without any judgment or comment. For the last few moments of this meditation, just stay with what serves you most. Maybe you're floating in the sea at moonlight. Maybe you're swishing around the orange waters of your pelvis. Asking that this may be a healing practice for you. You may be able to embrace the tides of your life, to bring all of your people home to oneself that sits in the center of the storm. Knowing that if you fall one way, it's fine. You can fall the other way after. You can be a fluid, changing being. You have a right. You have a right to be all these people. So when you're ready, you can start to come back to the deeper breath, as if the breath is now going to gently bring you out of this practice. Notice as the breath comes in deeper, notice any sensations in the heart space. Maybe there's other stuff being churned up, maybe some apprehension about what's going to come up. Maybe some fear around stirring up these waters. And just use your breath here to stabilize. As the in-breath becomes deeper and deeper, Start to connect back to your body, back to the earth, back to the lower parts of the body, the thighs, the knees, the feet, and down into the core of the earth. The only way we can really stir these waters up is if we remember to plug in to the core of the earth. And then drop the chin down to the chest, let the head be heavy. Rub the hands together until they're nice and warm and place them over your pelvis. So you can have your thumbs touching just below the belly button and all the fingertips pointing down into the earth. So you're making that upside down triangle. And the little finger edges of your hands are this crescent moon. And the thumbs are enabling you to contain that wild energy of the pelvis and know that it can be as wild as it wants to be. You can feel the warmth of your hands over those watery organs. Breathe in orange, breathe out orange. Orange flowing through your palms. A blessing to this space. A space under your hands, a blessing to the space that we create with each other. And when you're ready, taking time in your own way to come out of this meditation. Do whatever you need. Move however you want to move. Be still, be fluid. Welcome home.